nearly as much. And it was just such a well-played game from 100 Thieves. I was super doubting them in the draft.
And one thing that really stood out to me, and you pointed it out as well in game number 2, just how ineffective Quad was on the Yone. Right? We talk about Yone being an anime protagonist. Well, this is the arc where he gets his ass kicked before he powers up, because he was just in the dirt 24/7. Yeah. Meanwhile, Quid was popping off on the Akali. We saw in the draft that it was FlyQuest first picking the Yone on blue side. They're doing it as a denial. It's a power pick anyway, but it just didn't seem to really fit for Quad that well, and they got stomped with it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I have to give so much credit over to me, in particular to Sniper and Eyla in that, because it felt like every time that Quad went in, he's getting walloped, then he's getting Mega Gnar stunned to the wall, then he's getting wall stunned by the Poppy, then he's getting knocked up by the Poppy ult. He's just getting perma-CC'd, and they weren't really overlapping anything, so it was just stun after stun after stun after stun, and then even if he survives, he snaps back with 5% health, and then either FBI kills him or gets chased down by Sniper. It was just so well done in, you know, exploiting one of the few weaknesses that this champion has. It's so hard to pin him down, but they were able to do it perfectly.
So one thing that's immediately jumping out at me is Miss Fortune first pick for 100 Thieves in this game. This feels very risky to me, since this champion can really be hard countered by certain drafts. We do have the Ivern, the Lilia, the Cassiopeia banned out by 100 Thieves, Ambessa, Callista, Skarner banned out by FlyQuest, and the Pantheon that's been getting banned recently is locked in for Fly alongside the Jhin.
I will say, I think Fearless is helping out the MF in this spot. Two of the worst supports to play against, Leona, because the ulti can just answer your ulti very easily, and Braum, both gone from Fearless, right? So I do think some of those answers are already gone that are making things more difficult. You know, Varus is gone as well, which is a really strong laner and can be difficult to deal with, but it is a champion that requires a lot of setup here. They do have the Alistar for the engage, and it is going to be Quid on the Viktor, and I will cast your mind back to him playing this in the North, where he had a monster game on it, really was dominating. And he had some of the best team fighting, I felt like, on that Viktor. And you're looking over on the other side. I feel like MF and Jhin are pretty similar in kind of how they function, right? It's like a stand-and fire ulti. You know, I do think...
It's a turret character.
Exactly. It's kind of that turret character that requires a lot of setup. You don't really make the plays, you follow up on the plays.
Well, there's also going to be two similar champions in the mid lane with these control mages, the Viktor versus the Orianna of Quad, both of these having some massive AoE potential. The Alistar also locked in early, so interestingly enough, mirrored picks so far in the first half of the draft. Both bot laners for each team drafted, both mid laners for each team drafted. So top lane and jungle should be the focus of our bans in the second half, and Jarvan is the first one knocked out. This is a River classic. Goes back all the way to when he first joined the LCS. It was just Jarvan game after Jarvan game after Jarvan game, and they don't want to see him on this match.
Yeah, absolutely. And while, you know, I am expecting it to be a Busio Pantheon, when you look globally, there is still a lot of it played in the jungle. Pantheon's actually played more in the jungle recently than it has been as support. Obviously in our league, it has been mostly in support. We've even seen a little bit of top Pantheon, of mid Pantheon around the world. So there is always a chance that it could be getting flexed. And when I think of players like Bwipo, I was like, you know, maybe he would do it.
Yeah, anything's possible with Bwipo.
Exactly. But we are getting more of these jungle bans here from FlyQuest. It is going to be the Wukong. It is going to be the Jarvan over the other side. The Nocturne's going to get taken out, and the Urgot, the Bwipo special. So now I'm really curious, do you take jungle here and try to pinch the pool that much more to really limit, you know, where River can go?
And I remember back in game number 1, you talking about, you know, Bwipo kind of taking advantage of the Fearless system, playing all these champions nobody else is playing. Bwipo, if I remember correctly, was the first one playing Urgot, even in prior years in LCS, being the guy who's saying, no, I'm willing to slam this in certain matchups. They don't want to deal with that in this game, and we are going to have the Bard locked in for FlyQuest saying, yeah, not support Pantheon.
Yep, so it is going to be that Bard. We still don't know. We're assuming now it's jungle, right? But of course they can flex based on last pick, based on the matchups. Will we see, you know, a repeat of a jungler, something like the Viego or the Maokai that is available for River is up and available, and so it is going to be a repeat. It is going to be the Maokai. You know, it's always one of these things where people talk about how limited the champion pools are, and you have to pick this, and you have to pick that, and then you kind of realize, well, it's actually, there's a lot of champions that may not be the SS tier, but are kind of just below that and really can fit in well. So obviously can't go Sion because that was already picked, but kind of just hovering that a little bit for fun. And we will see what the pick is going to be from Sniper. So it is going to be Jax. And I don't think that would be what you'd want to play Pantheon into. You would get outscaled pretty hard in that 1v1. You know, maybe if you can really dominate the early game. So I am expecting this to be an inspired Pantheon and see Bwipo's counter pick up on top side, but we'll see if he surprises me here.
All right, there it is. The Garen locked in against the Jax. You can still damage him with your spin even while he's using his Counter-Strike.
Yep.
Your ulti obviously does not care about the Counter-Strike even a little bit. So plenty of early bully potential there.
Absolutely, and you have the W to be able to answer his Counter-Strike as well when he gets that stun. If you time it well, it is basically immuning that stun practically. It lasts such a little amount of time if you can get it in that first quarter second or so or of the W. So you definitely can get the push. You know, you're not going to be struggling with mana at all. It can be really, really powerful. And you can also prey on low mobility carries. You know, think back to finals even against TL last year in summer, where he was playing like I think he even built an Infinity Edge in that game in finals. And it's like gets to the point where if you build for these really high damage builds, you flash on an MF, you flash on a Viktor, a champion like that, and they can just die 100-0 in the silence.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how this one breaks down, but I got to ask you, both of the previous games, I feel like we were both on the side of FlyQuest in terms of which draft we like better. How are you feeling going into this third one?
I actually think it's really even. I mean, I think it's a very interesting draft. Both teams, have their ways to start fights, have their advantages, but overall, you have some pretty equivalent, scaling as far as mid lane, as far as AD. I do think that you're going to see better scaling from the Maokai and from the Jax on the 100 Thieves side, but I think it really does come down to execution. The Bard is always such an X factor because it is such a playmaking tool, and I think side lanes, while you want to give that to Jax, become much harder when there is a Bard and there is Pantheon ult to deal with. So that kind of throws a wrinkle in the gears too, and I really think it's pretty even, and it's going to come down heavily to execution.
So one thing worth pointing out, this is something I always like to look at when Garen is in the game. Keystone choice, since he is one of the champions that does have like a couple of equally viable different keystones.
Yeah.
This is a conqueror game for Bwipo, going more for the direct combat power as opposed to the kind of like trade altering pattern
Quid versus Quad for this game
of the phase rush. So that's one of the ones that I always like to look at. Less mobility, less of that ability to dive in and out of the fight, while at the same time, he's going to have the extra damage, wants to be able to make sure that he can keep up with Sniper in those side lane situations. So now into the game. Looks like we've got nothing too crazy early on as our lines of scrimmage are being drawn. And 100 Thieves, a couple of laughing Broms, some kick W's there. They're probably feeling way better coming into this game than they were going into the previous one.
Yeah, absolutely. The confidence will start to get built up here. And this is going to be an exciting one. I do think it's going to be pretty spicy potentially. It looks like we're going to get just matched lanes once again, which I enjoy watching so much more. It is a lot of fun to see these two players battling it up. Down with lane swaps. And actually, lane swaps are going down, but we got to talk about Quid versus Quad. Two of the stars of these two teams, Quad, did really struggle last game. Wasn't able to have that big of an effect on the Yone. I feel like that's one of the only games I could ever remember from Quad where it didn't feel like he was being a big contributor. Even from the very start when he joined, he was making such a difference for this team. And Quid really had a very different path, I will say. Quid came in, and there were so many calls for Quid to be replaced in his first split, saying that he was really kind of the Achilles heel of the team. But this guy went from that to MVP, from getting called for replace this guy, he's washed, he's no good, to winning the MVP was really incredible to see. And both have just been such an important part of their team's success.
So top side, that early trading, both champions starting with the E. The extra AoE of that also influencing the minion wave if they trade excessively in that. That's why you can see the second trade back and forth. Bwipo cut it off early with that judgment over in mid lane. Quad just trying to play aggressively against Quid here early on with the power of that Orianna and the clockwork wind-up auto attacks, giving her the extra edge and the extended trades early on when the abilities aren't nearly as powerful compared to the auto attacks. And once again, it's Massu and Busio with control over the bot lane push. Bwipo and Sniper continuing to trade back and forth, but it's Bwipo getting the better end of the trade.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's kind of expected. And now Sniper is in a bit of an awkward spot. He still has a biscuit, and he is on the D shield, so has a little bit of sustain left in there. But this is sometimes the problem in some of these Jax matchups. You really just want to get the push, get it pushed in, and be able to look for those early resets. And I think that's exactly what he's going to be able to get done here. Bwipo will try to hold this away, though. You can see that he gets up to level 3, and he's going to pull the wave a little bit here to try to make Sniper stay around, which Sniper really doesn't want to do, but there's not enough that it's going to be much of a difference. The wave is going to stack and push to him, so Sniper should definitely base.
And I think we saw there exactly what you were talking about, the ability to use that W on the Garen to remove the vast majority of the stun from the Jax. It stuns you for a microsecond. It feels like it's more of a stutter step than a stun, and you're not really feeling too bad about it as Busio makes an early roam over to the mid lane. Quid going to be forced back by that pressure as Quad just, again, keeps control over the wave, keeps control over the momentum in mid lane.
Yeah, exactly. Quad doing well so far. And Busio, when you go for these little roams, sometimes they really look pretty ineffective, but the reality is you do a little bit of damage to the enemy mid laner, you drop a couple health packs, and all of a sudden, it's like a pretty big HP swing, right? It's the advantage of a couple hundred health, and that can win an entire fight there for the squad. So it is nice, you know, when Bard is moving around. It's 75, I believe, per health pack that you are dropping, so you can go and then be able to, you know, drop 2 of those, and it's pretty nice.
Very good stuff considering a potion is just, what, two health shrines? So feels pretty great. Quad's going to continue keeping that pressure on. Comet plus auto plus ball. Easy hits there onto Quid, who will try to trade back. But again, the extra pressure from the support, the extra value of that. I don't actually know. I always call them hot cocos, even though they're only hot cocoa with the snowbard, because that was the only skin that people used for like 10 straight years. So the hot cocoa really does make the difference, even if it's not hot cocoa. But Busio now looking for a way back down to the bottom lane as Massu's going to go for his first recall.
And this is the game 2 stats from both of these guys in that last game. Look at the damage per minute put out by both sides. Some pretty monster performances. Even in the loss, Massu was really hanging on and trying to make a big difference for the squad.
I mean, Massu was the possible X factor, I think, in that game, too, for them to have a chance of maybe bringing it back. You could see him constantly trying to push to the edge and make the play that might have the chance to win. Unfortunately, just wasn't enough. 100 Thieves got way too far ahead, so FlyQuest will now have to try to redeem themselves here in this third, and what could be their final game until the next split. If you don't win here, you can't go to first stand. You're done until we start up again in April, back in LA. Still no kills on the board 5 minutes into the game. We do have the first Drake live. Is a Mountain Drake the hardest one to kill? So generally those are not going to be a fast first objective for anybody. Meanwhile, back up here in the top lane, Sniper getting the better of Bwipo here in the trades. And you can see both of them have already used the teleports.
Yep, both have used those teleports. Bwipo, of course, got a better buy because he teleported back late. And again, his job is really just kind of taxing the resources here. And now he hits 6, so he might actually try to interrupt Sniper. We'll see. Sniper is going to cancel his base. Knows that he would lose this full wave, but FBI is moving out towards top already. You can see Inspired is heading in towards the Dragon, so they know this. They are going to be pulling this off. It is going to be the Grubs, you know, trading out here for the Dragon, and both teams setting up for that.
All right, another nice handshake of the neutral objectives. Feel like we see this more often than not with these first sets of objectives, as Bwipo is still waiting in the brush. FBI happy to just farm up here. I don't believe that Bwipo should be able to 100 to 0 him
he has
here.
barrier. There's no way. I mean, you're just on a longsword. You could do a lot of damage if he walked past you and way overextended, then maybe. But I think Bwipo's just happy soaking some experience and seeing, all right, if you go way too far, maybe I can make something happen.
Yep, just wants to jump in, grab your decisive strike there on the cannon menu. You can use the shield to block the counterattack there from the MF. Meanwhile, Inspire just finishing up on that, like I said, very slow first Drake with the Earth Dragon, but they'll at least secure that one for themselves. Have a little bit of extra defense, 5% armor and magic resist. Isn't a ton in the early game, but hey, whatever. At least you're stacking towards something. As Quid finds Busio here in the Herald Pit, and Busio is ready to try to get out, but Eyla with a beautiful job, pulverized with a flash headbutt to knock Busio back, and now the FlyQuest support, dead to the death ray, beautifully done from 100 Thieves.
Yeah, really nicely played there by Eyla. Quid just kind of pushes him in to that pit, and Eyla is waiting on the other side. Q flash knocks him back. Yeah, he can go back through that portal, but of course he's taking damage the entire time. FBI quick on the move, and they're able to grab that first blood. It goes to Quid. That is going to feel really, really good. It's always so nice when someone has been out on the map, you know, roaming, being annoying, and you can actually catch him on one of those moves and punish him, it really does cut their tempo pretty heavily.
Nice looks from Eyla on that one. Putting the money on a carry feels that much better. You can look at the scoreboard. Most of these gold differences are essentially worthless. That mid lane one now being the first one to really matter, as I'm made to eat my words with Inspired getting a little bit further ahead in the jungle pacing.
Look at the sub gap.
Yeah, wowee. Look at all of those extra control wards that will be able to be purchased by Eyla.
Absolutely. Sniper getting aggressive here on Massu.
Yeah, Massu with a deadly flourish.
Oh.
Does manage to root him, but it's outside of the turret range.
That was really close, actually. If he got that root off, you know, a split second later, or if Sniper didn't step back so early, might have got rooted in the turret range, and then that could have been dangerous. You take another turret shot, then maybe Sniper just gets hit by the ulti from Jhin. Instead, though, Sniper putting on that pressure, going to be able to deny at least a couple minions here. Bwipo is, of course, moving down. Doesn't notice the trap, so will be interrupted. That's a bit annoying because he might be able to get stopped again, but grabs a plate, pushes it in, could be feeling good.
And you can see the pings from FlyQuest saying, hey, he's probably right here in the brush. Bwipo, however, not really going to care about that one. Instead, just focusing straight on hitting the wave. TP is going to arrive to bring Sniper right back down there. I always love seeing Demolish on top laners just because the resolve tree is so powerful in general.
Yeah.
And the ability to just get that extra plate when you only have 2 seconds or so to hit the turret.
I mean, especially in competitive play where it's so much about these timers and map movement and being able to kind of get the most out of these small windows. Demolish really is going to pay dividends. You don't always have 10 seconds to sit there and just whack a tower because you're going to ruin your tempo. So like you say, Demolish really can make all the difference there. And Sniper working in towards that Triforce. See exactly where Bwipo wants to go for his first item, but Bwipo is going to be strong, and I don't think that Garen. It used to be kind of this thought that like, oh, Garen doesn't scale at all, is really weak in the late game. But I think people have really learned that when you approach fights in the proper way, you can have a lot of power.
Yeah, this guy is very strong in the right hands. As now 100 Thieves have to try to disengage. Inspired one of the Grand Starfall to make a play on Quid, who didn't have any mana left. But honestly, nice scramble there from 100 Thieves. Quid doesn't even have to spend flash to walk away from that one.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, again, just Eyla plays that really, really well. Headbutts Inspired back, and then has both of them stacked up for that pulverized. And it's going to be another Demolish proc and another plate going the way of Sniper. Doesn't even need the Demolish proc, just walks out knowing that Bwipo could be coming in and doesn't want to take that damage.
Biggest gold lead in the game now is Sniper versus Bwipo. We talked about Sniper needing to be able to rise to the occasion. We talked in game number 1 about Sniper improving his overall team play, his map movements with the rest of the squad, but some of that killer instinct, some of that 1v1 prowess falling to the wayside as he hones those other skills. It looks like he's doing a great job right now against a guy who has been kind of setting the standard for really making an impact in top lane.
I mean, absolutely. I think it was the best game of the entire split from Sniper, for sure. He played really well, had a massive impact, and now they're going to be able to look for this 6 grubs here. Inspired still has no ulti, so I don't think he's really going to be able to get here in time. And then you're giving Jax, who's already in a good spot, 6 grubs to be able to push and make such a difference in that side lane. Could be problematic, but FlyQuest know, okay, well, we can't get grubs, so at least we need to try to get something bot side. So they're going to move down here, threaten Sniper off of the tower, and look to put him in a tough spot.
Ooh, nice binding from Busio there, using the last minion in the wave to catch Sniper on the back half of it, using the Jax as the wall instead of the primary target. But now Eyla is ready to escort his friend back over to the wave, back over to the turret. Bwipo at least getting a little bit of money on that one, grabbing some plates, grabbing some minions, keeping that back to an even state. But it is 100 Thieves ahead just a little bit of gold as Bwipo is going to step forward, try to contest River here at the chicken camp. River will go ahead and expend the smite to guarantee that he takes that one away. He's very fond of the Keck Braum emote.
It's a solid emote.
I like it a lot. It's a good one. I feel like it deserves a spot in the wheel. But River going in after Quad on that one, forces the flash out of the FlyQuest mid laner. If he didn't flash there, Bramble Smash does knock him backwards, makes it way too risky.
Exactly, and now it is really dangerous. Trading flashes I think is always good, almost always, for mid versus jungle. But when Eyla has his flashback as well, that is so tough to now play out a fight here for Quad because you're risking getting flashed on. But River has no flash. He's in the pit. He is going to be stuck here.
Yeah, FBI showing up to try to help him. Bullet time flies out, but doesn't get a whole lot of value here just yet. Sniper looking to put the hurt on Bwipo, but a beautiful tempered fate means Bwipo's out of the picture. 100 Thieves is going in. and they're getting even more. Feet of Warfare claimed, FBI paid, Dragon secured essentially for 100 Thieves as FlyQuest are pushed from the area. But it looks like Massu and Quad are here. I may have spoke a little bit too soon. 100 Thieves, they don't want to overcommit. They don't want to push too far. They don't want to go for the Drake here just yet. Instead, they go for the recall. They make two big purchases. Unending Despair on River, Trinity Force on Sniper.
And they spent a lot, in that chase down, so they didn't want to overstay and get punished. So that's why they decide, you know what, we're going to back off afterwards. FlyQuest, though, pushing in here. They say, River has no flash. We can punish, but look at Eyla on the side. He's been getting so much work done, keeping Inspired out. Then in comes the Bard ulti, but all of 100 Thieves arrive. They stack in, and as Busio is staying around to try to help out the squad, just ends up meaning that he goes down as well. This is looking massive for 100 Thieves. This would be a pretty big upset, and they are looking pumped. I mean, they know they are one game away from eliminating FlyQuest, and on the other side, it's a tale of two teams. The coaches, the team looking devastated, knowing this could be the end of their run if they can't find a way to pull it back.
Golden Glue's smile right there. You could see it welling up inside of him, but he didn't want to smile too big just yet. You don't want to get ahead of yourself. You don't want to curse it with too much positivity. I love that.
And look at this, expectation versus reality. This is something that I like to talk about a lot with this team. Even when I spoke to Golden Glue coming into spring last year, he was like, yeah, if we could get 4th, that would be really good. But realistically, we're going to need more time. Maybe we'll be like 6th or something like that. And then we could build up over time. He believed in their ability to build up. But this team has built up so much faster than people really expected. They were able to make it all the way to Worlds. And coming into 2025, there was a lot of talk of their improvements. They claimed the first seed from the LTA North, but even once they had that, it's like, well, it was only a couple games. It's a really short format. It's a very accelerated split one. How much does it really mean? And people coming into this are still looking at FlyQuest as that #1 team, but 100 Thieves pushing them, and now here we are, match point, game 3, and they're the ones in the lead, and it's going to be pressure now on FlyQuest without any sort of big early advantage to be able to stabilize and see if they can come back.
I won't lie to you, Isaac. I'm really impressed from what we're seeing from 100 Thieves after the first game. First one's a warm-up, right? Got to get nice and limber. Got to make sure that the fingers are all stretched out, ready to, hit the right keys and everything. Everybody's fat-fingered one here and there. But honestly, really, really impressive second game from them. First 15 minutes of game number 3, very impressive as well. As honestly, they're just looking great. The Dragons are now tied. They've got themselves the second one of the feats secured. That means that they've got the extra boots. They're going to have that extra movement speed. And I feel like the extra value there might be the difference between River being able to catch up to somebody for the point and click, between Sniper being able to run down somebody on the jacks. It just feels really good.
It really does. It's nice. It's just that incremental advantage that they're building up here. And I'm going to be curious to see how Inspired is able to actually perform on this Pantheon. So far, it has been pretty quiet. It is his first Pantheon of the split. I don't really remember him playing much, so I'm very curious. I'm going to actually check career-wide how many Pantheon games he has played. It does have 3 in his entire career.
All right, we'll check back in on that here in just a second. A Sniper gets bursted very low, and now Inspired's coming in looking to finish him off. The stab into the back, and Inspired takes him out. FlyQuest win out in the 2v2 here in the top lane.
Yeah, that's actually really big because Inspired was able to get that stun off as Sniper flashed, so he's still able to catch him with that Comet Spear, tags him in the back, knocks him down, and that was just heads-up play from Bwipo, just using the ulti to knock him down, and then Bwipo just TPs straight down towards bot. Doesn't even base because he's in the back up.
Meanwhile, River's ready for the counterattack now as 100 Thieves have their sights set on Quad, but not enough damage. The Chaos Storm can't catch him in time, and Ayla's not there in time to respond. So Quad still gets away. Yes, it cost him his flash. Yes, he's very low on HP, but 100 Thieves want more. FBI is going to come up around the side here on the pincer attack. He'll be the extra amount of firepower that forces FlyQuest into a full retreat, and that means a turret claimed in the top lane for 100 Thieves, but the first turret was already claimed in the bot lane by FlyQuest.
Exactly. I mean, Bwipo just used that Garen passive, regens right back up, TP straight down towards bot, and is able to push that tower because Sniper was dead. There was no one there to answer. So 100 Thieves had to have that pressure to be able to go, right up towards top to get something back because they knew they were going to lose out on the bot side. And as a result, it is Bwipo reclaiming the lead ever so slightly in this top lane. 1v1 has the Stride Breaker, working towards that Phantom Dancer. It is going to be 100 Thieves, though, claiming objective up on that top side, but we have got ourselves a very close game. We know neither of these teams are going to be shy about that 5v5.
No.
And I feel like it's just going to be an absolute slugfest here around the objectives.
Sniper's a target for Busio and Bwipo. Busio only gets the slow there onto the Jackson with a minion wave about to arrive. Leap Strike would make for an easy exit. Eyla ready to join up with his top laner if need be. But 100 Thieves have completely controlled the top side objective pit. Sorry, that's a little bit of a tongue twister there. In this third game, all 6 grubs, and they've got the Herald. Nobody from FlyQuest has gone anywhere close to that.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to be feeling really good, and especially if they can keep Sniper in a good spot where he's pushing up and he's getting those grub spawns on the tower over and over and over. It feels great. And you do have this Rift Herald. If you can drive that in, that's 12 little grubs spawning out and making a big difference on these pushes. 100 Thieves grouping up around here, trying to threaten. Nicely timed Tempered Fate there from Busio, immunes the charge.
That's what you always want to see from Bard. That's why it would be so risky to try to drive that Herald into there if you don't know exactly where the Bard is, just because he's so effective at neutralizing that objective. It can actually give a team a reason to not fight for the Herald as much if you don't think you're in a good spot to fight for it than if you had another champion, just because Bard is so effective at it.
Yeah, and it's a play that I always associate. I don't know who you associate it with, but I always think of Aframu every time I see that play. And
one of the OG Bards of the North.
Exactly. One of the plays that he brought, to the LCS back in the day. Massu here trying to clear this out as best he possibly can, but just the 6 grubs are so tough. It just gives all of these extra shots from the tower that are kind of being wasted on the little grubbies. It allowed Sniper to be able to push up down and bot, knock down that tower, and they are just constantly sieging here, trying to utilize the power of the 6 grubs. You can see River on the side with Eyla. They're always threatening, and Sniper here, they may look to set a trap.
Bwipo wanted to go in for the pincer attack, but instead he's the one getting caught. Quid needs to join up with the rest of 100 Thieves, but immediately he's shut down. Nice kill from Quad, and the backup fire from Massu is there. Ayla's going to try to get away, but FlyQuest have claimed a second. Demacian judgment rings true, and the cow is out of there. 100 Thieves, they overplay again, and they get punished.
Yeah, they're going to be able to get a kill likely here on River. We'll see if he can make the long run, but there's people coming in from all sides. River's going to be getting knocked down. They did get the tier 1 mid, but it's still a huge win here for FlyQuest, and they're very likely to just delay this to guarantee the dragon. So they're going to be able to give it to Quad. They delay the death, and they make sure that if we want to start this dragon, it is ours. Yeah,
massive stuff there. 100 Thieves losing 3 guys for that one.
Yeah.
Feels a little bad.
It absolutely feels bad here. They look to pull this play onto Bwipo, but watch Quid as he flashes back. He's still stunned up there by Inspired. Then Quad, perfect placement on the Orianna ball. Notice how he puts it max range toward the tower to shockwave him back towards that tower, pulling him in. So really well played there by Quad, by Inspired as well, locking down that Viktor, getting the shutdown with Massu, raining down terror with that Jhin ulti.
And I mean, they wanted to go after Bwipo, but remember, he's got the courage there for the shield and the tenacity resist. He's got free 30 armor and magic resist just because he's Garen. It's a pretty difficult target to burst down, and Bwipo only dropped to half HP.
And he's got the top tower as well. He's just out here split pushing. He has the PD done now, likely to work towards Berserker Greaves, which is the really common play here. Sniper down 700 gold now. They did not elect to actually start this dragon on spawn, so it is going to mean, even though they had that delayed death where they, really made River wait for it, they're going to look for Quid.
Oh, this could be a big catch. Quid stuck inside the stasis there with the Tempered Fate. Quad and the rest of FlyQuest ready to bash him and smash him. Nicely done. Massu taking a kill. And now FlyQuest will happily take the 3rd Drake of the game. Isaac, the first, 18 minutes of the game felt great for 100 Thieves. But in League of Legends, 18 minutes of good play can be undone by just one overcommittal to a tier 1 turret.
Yeah, I mean, and FlyQuest are kind of just getting everything. You think, okay, well, they sent Bwipo top, so at least 100 Thieves get the dragon now, right? Well, wrong, because they catch Quid in transition, they kill him off, Bwipo TP's down, they grab the dragon, and they got the top lane tower. And they are really feeling good, and look at Inspired, as Inspired does. 184 farm, by the way. He's over 20 CS ahead of the enemy mid laner. He has more farm than either of the soul laners, and he's higher level than Quid as well. Like, this guy
CEO full clear
just prints money. CEO full clear. But the thing is, he team fights so damn well, and he's always there when you really need him to be. So it feels so worthwhile.
And now it's up to FlyQuest to see if they can drive things forward without a blunder, without falling into the type of trap that 100 Thieves did. I think this Garen is going to be an absolute monster. We talk about how effective this guy can be if you find the right angles in the fights. Well, both of the carries are immobile, right? Like, yeah, sure, Miss Fortune can slow you down with Make It Rain, but you just cleanse the slow with your Q, right? Viktor can do the same thing with his gravity well, but you just cleanse it. It's so easy for Bwipo to find access to these targets. If you set it up with Busio on the bar with these Tempered Fates, which have been really good, but Quid, are we good?
Okay, never mind. Okay. He didn't get quite close enough to the brush. Bwipo was looking like he wanted to try to jump on him, but doesn't elect to go for it. Sniper gonna get chased out here by Quad. You know, CEO has such a negative connotation, I feel like, these days, but, you know, he's one of those good CEOs. He's like the Costco guy that keeps the hot dog combo $1.50.
Yeah, the Arizona tea guy that keeps it 99 cents.
There you go.
He's the Arizona tea of kicking your ass if you walk near the brush.
Exactly.
That's what he does. It never pays him more than 300 gold. He doesn't need that. 300 gold's enough.
It's enough.
Yeah, it keeps the bills paid. It keeps the lights on. And right
keeps
now...
the long swords coming.
Yeah, as long as we're getting more swords, we're doing great. He did pick up a nice new pair of shoes like you were talking about.
Yes, sir.
The Berserker's Greaves.
He deserves those shoes. Treat yourself.
Yeah, so you just got to have a nice pair of shoes sometimes. For those of y'all that aren't aware that might not play Garen, remember attack speed does influence not only the general auto-attacking of the character, but also the tick rate of the spin of Judgment.
How fast he spin.
Yep, he spins real fast right now, and he is so deadly if he makes it on top of one of those targets. River, seeing if maybe he could have hit him there with a twisted advance, but it wouldn't have mattered. Not like they had enough firepower nearby with everybody else to collapse for the kill in time.
Again, Busio, Mikhail's rush here. He really does love rushing for this item. I just think it is criminally underused and underrated here. Yeah, you're more squishy, but it is going to feel great to be able to answer things like the Maokai ult, like a flash jack stun or something like that that is going to be coming through.
And since it at least does give you a little bit of health in its modern iteration, it's not as risky as some of the previous versions where it's just like, oh,
it's
here's
not a locket, but it's not nothing.
Right, it's not like here's some mana regen, I guess. Like you're still getting some extra survivability power from it. So I like it a lot too. I agree with you. I think it's a huge playmaker. And now we're going to see what they're ready to fight over next, because this Drake is not spawning for another 2 minutes or so. River is still just trying to control a little bit of vision, set down some saplings, see if he can keep an eye on where FlyQuest wants to be.
Inspired is level 14 with Sterix and a Sundered Sky.
But River makes the flash engage, wants that twisted advance on the quad, but he ain't going to get much back. Now River's in some danger, throws out the ulti defensively. Ayla wants to follow up here with a flash pulverize, but instead it's going to be FBI in danger. Deadly Flourish doesn't hit. Curtain call opens. Sniper ready to join up here with the rest of the team. First 2 shots from Jhin hit Ayla, last 2 canceled as FlyQuest survive the initial engage attempt from 100 Thieves and River.
Yeah, they do. Ayla looked for a really nice engage there. He got the cleanse out of Massu. They did get that flash off of Quad thanks to the flash there from River, but they just couldn't get past and fully commit. You know, FBI not able to get in. It's very difficult at times to be able to actually find that full MF ulti. And you're going to have potentially Pantheon in there, you know, blocking with the E. You have to worry about Bard ulti, you know, getting in there and actually stopping it. So Shockwave as well can be problematic, but 100 Thieves and do look for a bit of a pick. Don't find too much. It's just Bwipo straight back towards the top lane. And this Otacon is getting quite delayed. We're 25.5 minutes in. No one has even touched it, really. Otacon gets angry as Bwipo walks past, but...
Otacon's attacking the minions.
I mean, this is one of those situations where Otacon can become like really kind of crazily valuable when you get to these spots where Baron and Otacon are both up and dragon spawning. Like, you win one fight, you can get the trifecta.
And when the Otacon is right by the Baron pit too, I feel like that one is even more valuable because it's right next door than if you just have to pick 2 out of 3. The 2 includes the Baron.
That's a Costco hot dog and an Arizona iced tea.
Sounds like lunch to me. And that's what both teams are looking for right now is lunch.
Trying to get fed.
Exactly.
We are going to have a River pulling this, but you have to be careful because they know, you know what, if we show on bot side and we pull this, they could actually rush Otacon on top side. They now see FlyQuest around in the area. Bwipo's up towards top, just trying to take as much gold off the map as he can. He's doing the Gromp right now. Busio, though.
Busio, the target, flashes and goes on a magical journey to try to get away, and he takes River with him. This is the danger of Maokai. You end up getting stuck because you have to go with a twisted advance, and River is already dead. Inspired with a Grand Starfall over the top as Bwipo is spinning and winning in the middle of everybody. Needs a little bit more damage, but he ain't gonna find it. FBI can't slow him down. Quid's barely holding on. Deadly flourish from Massu is exactly that. Sniper at least gets one back as Bwipo falls, but it's a 3 for 2 favoring FlyQuest. Massu wants even more, and he's ready to reload the gun to get it. A little bit more damage from Inspired seals the deal. 4 for 2. FlyQuest is feeling it, and the Drake is there.
Yeah, really nicely done. They're going to be able to win out in that team fight. Garen got in the back line, and that was just a nightmare. What a well-timed stun as well at the end of the fight there from Inspired. We can watch this one more time. River gets taken on a very magical journey. The flash, the E, he pulls him through everything. Then this ulti setting everything up as Inspired arrives. Bwipo arrives as well. River gets taken out on the side. And then Eyla tries to knock back the Garen, but the Garen says, thank you very much. I will just flash in on the AD carry. FBI tries to stand and fire, tries to find an angle there, but then gets sectioned off in a losing fight here against Quad. Sniper goes back in, is able to take down Busio, and then flash forward onto the Garen to get another, which was quite nicely done. And here, without the Archangel shield, I thought he might have been able to get Quad, but look, it's Inspired, gets the stun. He backed out of the Counter-Strike, instant stuns him there, so he can't get the auto W to follow up that damage. Protects Quad, keeps him alive, small thing, but those are the moments that you really have to make good on when you're going to play this farming heavy style.
That was really good from Sniper there at the end, knowing he had the damage to kill the Bard without needing a stun. But Inspired's going to be your target. Immediately drops the Aegis, trying to protect himself from the engage of 100 Thieves. Gets the shield to survive a little bit longer, but he's still stuck on the front line. The shutdown goes over to Eyla. Sniper popping the Zonias. Sniper popping Bwipo. 100 Thieves, 2 for nothing. Enemy jungler dead.
Yeah, they're going to be able to go right for the Baron as well. That is massive. They got the shutdown, and now FlyQuest in some trouble here. Massu, Quad, and Busio. Do they even try? This is going to be so difficult.
FlyQuest won game number 1 easily. 100 Thieves controlled game number 2 from start to finish, it felt like. And now in game number 3, we're back and forth, blow for blow, as once again, it'll be 100 Thieves in the lead as they take the Baron and the Otacon. They just got lunch.
That is massive. They're going to be able to get them both. They are getting fed, that is for sure. And we can see FlyQuest no position to really be able to contest here. Massu going to let the LT rip, but there's just no way. They're just going to stand and block up all the shots. They are going to try to delay the bases, though. Massu trying to stop them and keep them here. In comes Quad.
Quad wants to try to get something off of this. Massu's got to be careful, though. Quid takes some damage, but now Quad's alone behind enemy lines. Massu trying to grab something. Quad's got to try to continue running away. FBI is low. Massu takes him out, but again, it's just a false life. Inspired's ready to join. Hits another false life. Sniper covering for Quid's exit. But they got to remember not to overdo this. Massive from Massu goes in to find a third false life. Tempered fate, and now they might be able to find a fourth. Sniper is slowed down. 4 false lives. FlyQuest might have lost the Baron. They might have lost the Otacon, but they damn near wipe all of it away right after.
Wow, that was incredible from FlyQuest. They're able to just buy so much time. Massu gets over there, uses the ulti, and then just delays until his team can arrive. Inspire gets in range for the ulti. He comes in. The whole squad shows up to be able to fight this. Quad putting himself in a dangerous TP, hits the 2-man shockwave over the wall, flashes out of Ayla's combo. FBI gets taken down there. Then in comes Inspired on the Pantheon. They're able to get another. Now watch how they delay this. He gets out of the Counter-Strike, gets a stun down. Sniper looks for the re-engage as Massu flashes forward, finishes off a kill, but then in comes the Bard ulti, holding him in place to keep Massu safe. This allows his Q to come back up so he can stun him against the wall. The Orianna shield comes back up so he can protect Massu as well. Everything coordinated perfectly there from FlyQuest to make the most out of what was looking like a really tough situation.
Let's go back to right before this game. Let's go back to what we heard with the interview with Massu and Sniper, where Masu's talking about having the confidence to read the state of the game and make the call.
Flashed it in like that?
That is it right there. Knowing that he's the guy who can get this done. Knowing he can delay it for the rest of the team to arrive, and knowing he can flash in to keep things going. Now 100 Thieves looking for an engage, but they only find it on Inspired. They'll be able to force down the tier 2 turret in the mid lane, but they won't get more.
But remember, because we didn't see a huge gain from that Baron and the Otacon, Soul Point, they already have that for FlyQuest. 50 seconds, they could move towards this Soul, be able to get that Chemtech Soul here. That would be huge. We'll see if they're going to be able to do it.
Ooh, Eyla gets his recall interrupted.
They force the ult.
Yeah, they're going to trade the curtain call for the Unbreakable Will. This means that once Eyla goes in the upcoming fight, he does not get out. Bwipo looking for his way into the fight, but now the Tempered Fate ready to lock him up and keep him alive. Bard binding, only going to find one, and Bwipo is down. He went in too far ahead of the rest of the team, but now River's going to be in danger too. Nice shockwave on the 2 targets. Quad's going to try to get back away as Massu's on a rampage. Inspired tanks up 2 targets and goes on a magical chain to get back to safety. 4 versus 4.
I cannot believe they got out of that situation. FlyQuest making magic happen here. Busio finds the perfect angle on that magical journey, and Inspired just covers for Quad. Quad looked like he was dead to rights to me. That looked like Bwipo on that over-engage went too far, and I thought that was going to cost them huge, but instead, they only lose the 1. They kill off the enemy jungler. Dragon is up. This is Soul on the table. Let's see if they can get it, Flowers.
All right, FlyQuest looking to make it happen. River dead for the next 15 seconds. Quid and FBI have got to keep the FlyQuest players away from this thing. Busio and Quad ready to step up, try to move forward with the rest of the team. Bwipo's ready to join up, but keep your eyes on Sniper. He's the one who wants to be the X factor here in this fight, here in this game, here in this series. 100 Thieves still trying to contest. River's back alive, but he walks real slow. Inspired and FlyQuest still looking to force the issue now as Bwipo is dealing with Sniper off to the side. Meanwhile, the rest of FlyQuest looking to go after the objective, and Inspired is going to claim it. Gets away thanks to the shield. Eyla here on the front line yet again with the Unbreakable Will. Nice Tempered Fate back onto Quid, but it ain't going to matter. It's only going to slow them down, allow FlyQuest to retreat. Mission accomplished. Soul secured.
That was huge. Really walking the knife's edge there was FlyQuest. As they had Inspired getting lower and lower, they're poking away on him. They're trying to say, you are not safe to actually finish this dragon. You cannot claim the soul. I think he even had to flash back in range to get the smite because he looked like he got ejected as it was getting low. You can see Massu trying to knock this down, but Ayla's threatening on the side with the Hex Flash. He gets knocked out. They're ulting it, and I think he had to flash. Yeah, flash back in, secures it, beautifully played, puts himself in danger, but the Sterix, all of the farming, level 15. He is tanky even without that E. The team covers as they get out. That is a massive moment now for FlyQuest. 100 Thieves, though, battling very closely in this game. It's still anyone's to claim. FlyQuest, though, now with the soul, definitely have the edge.
It's going all the way in this third game, man. Curtain call opens up. Just a zoning tool. The design is to get them away from the tier 1 turret so FlyQuest can secure it, but it's not going to work. The minion wave cleared out instead, and FlyQuest won't go any further. I feel like this Chemtech Drake could have a lot more value than we see in some games, just because these fights are going down to such small margins.
I fully agree. I mean, the Pantheon, the Garen are getting in there, are really being aggressive. You can see Shojin now done. It is a 3rd item now done as well for Inspired. He's going towards that unending despair. 4th item's starting to get worked on here, or coming in soon for the carries. Massu, I talked about how Jhin is not really a playmaker, but he's made it look like one at times in this game.
Sniper versus Bwipo down here in this 1v1. Bwipo does not win those. He has to flash back away. Wants the execute on Sniper while Inspired's going to be in some danger on the other side. Bwipo gets the kill, but Inspired's now in serious danger. About to die as well. That's 1 for 1 so far, but Bwipo's about to be the second one here for 100 Thieves. Double kill to FBI on the Miss Fortune. They got a 4v3 on the map, and Baron's alive.
Exactly, and they killed the jungler, so now they're going to be the ones coming out on top in this fight. Sniper really drew so much pressure in that moment. Yes, they did take him down, but the stasis bought a ton of time. Massu was committed to him. Bwipo was committed to him, and on the other side, they killed off Inspired, and then are able to get the re-engage to kill off Bwipo anyway. They're on the Baron here. No real shot at a steal. Maybe Massu looks for a W or something, but it's not likely to happen. 100 Thieves, again, back and forth this game goes. These two teams looking so evenly matched. And what a treat we have been in for the first series of the day. Man, how about the growth from 100 Thieves? Just win or lose, compare this to when they fought at the end of summer last year, and FlyQuest just lit them up every single game. Back to the start, you can see Sniper is going to win out in this 1v1. Then the nice stasis timed on the Garen ulti to delay. Does get taken out, but on the other side, it's Busio and Inspired getting kind of caught in transition. Then Eyla uses the Bard ulti. We're back to live and likely to a fight. No.
Oh, man, Whenever they go before the very end of the replay, it always spooks me, man. I always got to get ready. I got to brace myself.
The monkey brain turns on.
Oh yeah, I mean my brain's always kind of monkey brain. I played Skarner for 10 years. I'm kind of stuck with this now. But you know, 100 Thieves, this is such an intense moment for them. Quick look into the crowd. Bwipo's mom there, obviously on the edge of her seat as well.
No kidding. I mean, you can see the holding hands with the family. You know, that is his brother, I believe, his grandmother to the right of his mom, and I believe his aunt is here today as well. They're supporting the team, definitely feeling the intensity.
Well, now 100 Thieves will force down the tier 2 turret here in the bottom lane. 3,500 gold lead for 100 Thieves. FlyQuest scramble to try and defend. Keep your eyes on Busio. He goes in for the Tempered Fate. He finds FBI, but the follow-up isn't there. Bwipo wants to go in, spinning into the back line. He wants the execution, but he only finds his own. Ayla low, FBI low, but it's only Bwipo dead. 100 Thieves continuing to force their way into the enemy base. Another nice use of the zone is coming out there from Sniper. Inspired will not get away. FBI goes on a rampage. River goes into the back line. Quad goes into the ground. 100 Thieves are on the push. Quid and FBI. FBI finally dying there, but it's still 4 alive for the side of 100 Thieves. Sniper going back to base, but he does have the teleport ready to rejoin the rest of the team. First Nexus turret is already down. It's Massu and Busio charged with defending the Nexus, defending the game, defending the series for FlyQuest. 100 Thieves, 4v2, ready to push, shoot out the Maokai ulti yet again. They find both routes, they don't even care. Now ready to go in for the twisted advance. Busio is knocked backwards. Massu is done for. Ladies and gentlemen, 100 Thieves take FlyQuest down. They're going to finals tomorrow.
What a series from 100 Thieves, battling back after a dominant game number 1 from FlyQuest. They are so excited about it. What a journey this team has gone on and how much growth they have been able to show. FlyQuest just narrowly not able to hang on at the end there. Such a close final game.
Wow, the back and forth in this one was awesome. 100 Thieves with the lead for the first 17, 18 minutes of gameplay. Then they overplay at mid. FlyQuest comes swinging back. Then 100 Thieves, boom, they get the Otacon, they get the Baron. But FlyQuest off of Massu's play, they neutralize it. Back and forth and back and forth. And when it finally all settles, it's 100 Thieves. First, they managed to get here as the #1 seed. Nobody expected it. Nobody thought it was real. Now, they're going up against the #1 seed in FlyQuest, and they take them down even after getting absolutely smashed in the first game. 100 Thieves are showing resilience and skill in a way that everybody that loves this team has got to be excited to see.
I mean, that was a great series. That was some fantastic League of Legends, 100 Thieves, FlyQuest leaving it all out there. What a fun one, seeing the growth here on display, and a huge series, honestly, from Sniper. These last 2 games really showed up massive for the team. I was looking at top lane as where it was going to be the biggest advantage for FlyQuest, but it did not come to be. Sniper was able to have a really big impact. FBI, I think, showing up, having a great series. You know, everyone really kind of stepping up when they needed to. And Eyla, I've got to give this guy so much credit. His growth from last year to this year is insane. I really feel like he is playing on the highest level I have seen from him in his career. And him and FBI as a duo are just kind of working magic and bringing this team to a whole nother level.
It feels like we just got to see everybody from 100 Thieves working together so well here. Now let's join Rafa Lau and FBI on stage for an interview.
Parabéns, você vai pra final aí, mas meu Deus do céu, o que aconteceu nesse final? What's going on in this third game? What happened in the last game?
Yeah, the last game was pretty hectic. I think we had a good early game lead, but then we were kind of throwing a little bit, and then I think they were kind of throwing a little bit, and then it was just like a, I don't know if it was a banger game, but it was a fun game to play, yeah.
Ele falou que eles tinham jogo temprano, já misturando os idiomas, né? O jogo do early game pro mid game eles estavam melhor e basicamente eles lutaram melhor, souberam jogar melhor com a composição. Apesar de vocês estarem aí no primeiro seed da LTA Norte, eu acho que tinha muita gente que ainda duvidava do jogo de vocês. Você acha que essa MD3 foi realmente para vocês se provarem aqui na LTA? I'll tell 100 Thieves was the first seed in North America. Many people didn't believe in you guys. So was this series to prove yourselves, or how do you feel?
I mean, I personally never really cared too much about what other people think. It's just important what we're doing in our team. And I think we have a really good group of people and really good group of players who trust each other, no matter how much we might be doing bad in streams or having a bad week. We kind of know that we'll come together on stage and perform well.
Ele falou que realmente não se importa muito sobre a opinião das pessoas a respeito deles, porque eles sabem que são uma boa equipe e dependendo muito de como vai a semana de screens, vai ser o resultado no stage também.
Apesar de você não se importar muito, eu acho que você notou, assim, no último jogo de vocês a torcida estava contra. Hoje, a torcida estava completamente contra vocês aqui de novo. Deu um buffzinho a mais, aí tipo, a gente vai mostrar pra eles.
Like last week, today you guys also had a crowd against you. So did having the fans against you guys turn into a buff for you?
I wouldn't say so. I think last week the crowd was booing us, but at least for this week's game, we had a lot of cheers coming out. So I really appreciate the energy from the crowd, even though we're not the favorites. I think when we win tomorrow, I think you guys will be cheering for us.
Ele falou que apesar da semana passada a torcida ter vaiado eles, ele sabe que também nessa semana muitas pessoas estavam torcendo por eles para que eles conseguissem chegar na final amanhã e que ele tem certeza que podem ganhar também.
Falando da final amanhã, Cloud9 ou Team Liquid? Quem vai com vocês aí para essa final?
Talking about the finals tomorrow, what is the best scenario for you, Cloud9 or Team Liquid?
I think both are really good teams, honestly. Every team in the top 4 from the North, I think, are pretty similarly matched, so I don't really have too much preference on who we play tomorrow.
Ele falou que ele sabe que as duas equipes são muito boas e que ele não tem nenhuma preferência por rival amanhã.
Thank you, FBI, once again. Congrats on the win. É isso, gente. Então a gente tem aí 100 Thieves na final e agora a gente vai decidir se teremos também Cloud9 ou Team Liquid.